think all of these can be grouped and nobody would bat an eye. Yeah, because I can group these two together, group these two together, group these two together, these two, and then these two. And nobody would bat an eye if I group them as twos. This will just be like one single one kind of thing. And so pretty much that will be all across the wall over here. Now, for the final one, which is supposed to be for bone meal, I don't know how I'm going to do this one. I got to figure out if there is a way that you can do it. So the idea for bone meal is like, it's supposed to be able to accept all of these because all of these can be used to make bone meal apart from one block or one item, bamboo. Because if I go looking over here, more than likely, bamboo has clogged the system. What a shocker. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then over here, we have the different kinds of farms. So we have the cow farm over here, which is just the single one block that like you have the little water thing. So the cows are bobbing up and down, and then you can breed them kind of thing, and then you can kill the parents and stuff like that. And then all their stuff will be sent to here, and then will be sent to this barrel, blah, blah, blah. And then you can store the stuff in here. And the same idea with the sheep, and then the pig. And over here is sheep. But this is actually a really cool thing. So this area is actually supposed to be for sheep so that we can auto-shear them. So that way though we can shear them so we can get all the different color of wool. So all of the redstone you'll see here is where the different color of wool is supposed to be. Now all of these colors of wool get sent to this barrel right here. And then you can sell it off or whatever kind of thing. And that's pretty much what this area over here is supposed to be for. Over here is the chicken farm. So over here is the auto chicken cooker slash breeding thing. So though you can get the chickens to be able to burn inside this cauldron with lava in it. And then they will burn, and then they will obviously give you their cooked chicken and stuff like that. So this is a new version. This isn't the one that I used in 1.17. This one was one that I found that was actually more modern kind of thing. And I liked it. It's really good. Over here is a goat. So this is just a very simple thing where you somehow get a goat inside of here. And the idea is that you get the goat to kind of lunge at you onto this stone wall, which is the most natural looking block in here, that a goat's horns will be dislodged. So you can actually go get the goat horn. And that's pretty much what this is for. Over here's the armadillo for the armadillo scoot, pretty much. So you get an armadillo over here, and then you pretty much just click this. And the idea is that it'll constantly grab a whole bunch of armadillo scoot, and then you just do this, and then you turn it off. And obviously it works because obviously I have armadillo scoot in here, which I will delete before the next version. Over here's a rabbit farm, which I think the original design for this was originally designed for Bedrock Edition rather than Java Edition, which is what I use. So, yeah. So I changed it so it works with Bedrock, or works with Java, sorry, not works with Bedrock, works with Java. So now it works. And you know what? It's fine. It does its job. I mean, like, it gives you rabbits. It gives you cooked rabbit. So it does its job. Anyway, over here is where I have a chicken over here, which is currently Cluckles, which is giving you eggs. Good job, Cluckles. Keep doing Lord Cube's work. And over here is a recent addition I made. This is the most backwards logic that I could ever think of, but you know what? It works. I've tested it myself. It works. It might not be the most efficient one. There might be a better way of putting it. But yeah, so over here is my villager breeder. This is probably the most thing that like people will probably say, what were you cooking? And it actually works. It does its job. It might not be the best thing, but yeah. So the idea is like when you're starting in, you would have a zombie in here that would change any of the villagers into zombie villagers. And over here allows you to be able to push the villager out, pretty much. So pretty much to start, this, what you need is you need 2 villagers over here. They both need to be in minecarts, so though like this can actually work. So what happens is that when you flick this lever, these two observers will constantly fling out bread for the villagers to be able to breed. And pretty much the idea is like both of the villagers will go, hey, look, you got bread. I want to, do things with you. And then all of a sudden, a baby villager will appear. Now, when the baby villager goes, ooh, a bed, it will go down here. But there will be a minecart waiting for it. So before you do it, you would do this. So there's a minecart waiting for the baby villager. And then when they jump down, they will jump and they will be right into the thing. And then you would just pretty much go in and then you would like push the baby villager so that they get stuck over here. And you would wait until they grow into an adult. Once they are an adult, of course, you would flick this lever. You would flick this lever so that now it's going to this way. And you would click this button, which will send it over to here, which will allow the zombie to infect the villager and then pretty much kill it and then turn into a villager zombie. Then you flick this lever and then you have to give it a little gentle push. And then you would pretty much have it over here. Then you would click this button to inflict it with weakness, and then you right click with a golden apple, and then it turns into a normal villager again with trades. What backwards logic this is. I kept trying to look for different farms, and the only thing that I would change with this is that I would make this one, I would elevate this entire array 1 block higher. So that way though, like like some area is raised specifically for this button. I feel like this button being raised would fit a lot better than just it just being like this, but you know what? It works. It functions, it's good. So the area that's back here has 2 different ways of going. So you can go up here, which is supposed to be the more like customer route, or you can go towards the employee entrance, which is down here, which leads you to over here. So here's where the customer entrance goes. So the customers would go up the stairs over here, go over here, and go, wow, this place looks really cool, right? And then they would go down and they go, wow, this is pretty cool. So over here is where we would sell the different types of cows, the different temperatures. So the warm, the temperate, and the cold. Or the hot, the temperate, and the cold, I think, or something like that. Same thing with the pig. And then because sheeps don't have that, it's just different rarity of the colors kind of thing. For the natural colors kind of thing. We're just not going to worry about that. And then over here we have goats. So this is where you would find all the goats kind of thing. You would breed a goat and then you would take one of the goats out and then you would send it over through the employee entrance. You would sort of like shuffle them along over here where you would then send the goat into the area. Then you let the customer go and take the goat for whatever reason kind of thing. I don't know. So yeah. And same thing with over here. This is wolves. I don't think that the wolves in here will be too disturbed with the sheep that are over here. But yeah. And then over here is where the striders will be. Because I think that having striders in here would be pretty cool. And then parrot. I'm going to talk about you in a second. So over here is where you would go and purchase the animals. So this is going to be like where an office goes and you go, oh yes, you want to purchase a wolf? It's like, okay, let's go. That'll be 3 gold ingots. And then you just give them the gold ingots and then the employees will do it. Then this was supposed to be for something, but I don't remember what it was supposed to be. Okay, so let's talk about parrots for a second. So over here was going to be my parrot sanctuary, where people can come around and they could be able to breed the parrots that they want. So this was supposed to have 2 of each color, so that if you wanted a blue one, you can guarantee a blue one. You want to know what mob that can be sort of, I guess you could say domesticated, that cannot breed? Parrots. So, guess what happened? So pretty much, like, I was so angry when I found that out. I was trying to right click with seeds and they weren't breeding, and I was like, that's kind of weird. Why aren't they breeding? Parrots can't breed. So I killed all the parrots that are there, and then I changed it so the parrots can spawn on the island. You want to know what's really funny about that? They spawn on any kind of leaf block and wood block. So pretty much they can spawn pretty much anywhere on the island. And then this was a test to see if mushrooms would spawn down here. And they didn't. But I like the mycelium. It looks really nice. So I like it. And this can also be for my, like, my mushroom farm as well. And then over here just leads you back down here, which, as I said, is the tunnel, which we'll talk about later. And yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah, there's nothing really too much else to really say about this area. I really liked it. And yeah, so you're probably wondering, where are these farming materials coming from? Well, that's a good question. We need to go to the back area over here. So this is where they all get shuffled along. They all get shuffled along through this water canal over here. So let's go backwards. So let's go to where they're coming from. So we go through this little water channel, which has copper trapdoors because it looks really cool. And makes it look like more of an authentic pipe kind of thing. They get sent from over here. Which gets sent from over here. Don't know how you got stuck there, but it doesn't matter. You're going to be gone anyway. So over here is where all the items get sent. Pretty much. Down here, we have one minecart with hopper that goes around picking up every item. Now, one really weird and interesting thing that I found out, though, is that I tried to make it so that I could have 4 running around and doing the exact same thing. Yeah, excuse the ticking. That's just so that they're constantly going off. I tried to make it so that, like, this, from this observer to this observer, with the same little trailing system as it is here, would constantly loop back and forth. It would work at first, like, it would start perfectly fine. Like, it would, like, if you put the, the minecart here, it would go, oh yeah, I'm gonna go work. But by the time that it gets to over here and it goes, oh yeah, it stops. And it didn't make any sense. So yeah. So I have to have one that constantly loops around, kind of thing. Which is very inconvenient because it's very, very slow because it's got to go through all of the other stuff. But it's fine, I guess. Anyway, so you're probably wondering, where is all of the stuff coming from? Well, they're not coming from down here, but this is going to be something, and I don't know what it's going to be yet. But this can be something. That's going to be cool. But up here, here's where all of the different kinds of farms that I'm going to have are. So here is one of the 4 quadrants. All of them are identical. But this is one of the 4. Now, this is pretty cool. So these farms are not meant for efficiency reasons. They're just meant to be a farm. So these farms are just to say, hey, you're getting beetroot. Like, live with it kind of thing, right? Like, you're just getting beetroot. Like, you're not going to get, like, the best rates. You're not going to get, like, 30 million an hour or anything like that. No, these are just so that you get the beetroot. So obviously some of these farms are not active because they need entities, which I do not have, because I'm going to get them on screen. So this one, we need villagers. So we need 5 villagers. We need 1 in the center so that all of these 4 will start trying to give him items, which will fail because they will be sent to these hopper minecarts, which will then sort of shuffle it into the system over here, which will automatically dispense it into the pillar over here, which will allow it to go down to the water stream, which will then allow the minecart with hopper to pick it up, and we'll send it through the middle tube, which will shoot it all the way up so that we can get them. Anyway, that's what these are for. This is beetroot, carrot, potato, and wheat, obviously. And all of them are identical. And so each and every quadrant has 1 of each of these farms. 2 cactus farms, which means we are very much good with cactus. 2 sweet berry farms, which are not really working because obviously we need a fox, and obviously we do not have a fox. So yeah. And then we go over here, we have 2 melon farms and 2 pumpkin farms. Over here we have a kelp farm, which on the other side also has a kelp farm. And then we also have a bamboo farm, which that side also does have. And over here we have 2 sugarcane farms. Now you might be telling yourself that these farms, they don't seem like they would generate so much. So how can it fuel all of Sancturia's goods? Well, you're right. This might not be good for Sancturia. For 1 quadrant. But it's got 4 of them. And they're all identical. They're literally all identical. Because all I did is that I took one of the quadrants that I was working on, and I rotated it and put it here. Then I rotated it again and put it here. Then I rotated one more time and put it here. So again, it is the same thing, but just rotated each time. So literally, it's like literally a circle. So literally, it goes like this. Or the opposite way. But yeah.